All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Work for the Culture. It is your host, Ollie Brady. And today we have a solo episode, man. Probably coming to the end of these solos for a while. So I just wanted to get this one out because I thought it was really important. And it's pretty much a follow up of what I did last week. We talked about mostly the don'ts of entrepreneurship and different problems you may come into. So I think what we should have done, I should have kind of done an episode off of is entrepreneurship even for you? Like a lot of times, we're starting to see that on social media, entrepreneurship is starting to be kind of glamorized, I guess, or I don't know the word to say. Like it's just kind of being all the talk of everybody, and that's what everybody's doing. So it's starting to almost look like just a fad, I guess, or just like it's just a new hype thing to do right now, just to look cool. And from whether you're on LLC Twitter or you're just scrolling through IG, and everybody they're saying, "Hey, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm CEO, CFO. This is my company." And granted, entrepreneurship is a good thing to be a part of. I'll say from an aspect of if that's something that you really want to do and you have your why in order and you understand what comes with that. But a lot of people out here, they're literally just doing this to try to look cool, or because they just want to be a part of the in crowd and the circle and all of that, and just have that momentary that moment, I guess I'll say it like that, where they have their shine for a little bit, but they don't really understand what comes with it. So now what we're actually starting to see a lot of is it's starting to become a very big negative view on the whole I'm an entrepreneurship thing. And that being said, it's just something I feel like, well, actually, let's just go into this because I'm starting my entrepreneurship journey, which I've been kind of bouncing back and forth within entrepreneurship for a while, between moving and all of that and 9 to 5s and just working. So, and I'm still, still doing it. But I just wanted to come on and, just talk about this for a little bit, give some insight on things and kind of provide a little background on, is entrepreneurship even for you? So the main thing I'd say to start off with is we have to understand, for one, it's two different, like it's one thing to be an entrepreneur, but a lot of times what we'll talk about on the show is different routes of investing as well. So you have to understand there is a difference between an entrepreneur and an investor. So, investors, they're going to be the ones that, real estate, or real estate may go into both categories, depending on how you do it. Also, you have stocks, crypto. That's my two bread and butters. That's what I'm big on. And any other thing that'll appreciate that you could just put money into and invest. If you want to do watches, any kind of asset that's going to appreciate in value over time. And for the most part, it's pretty much passive income, right? Entrepreneurship, that's you're the boss, CEO of a company. You're having to make things work, get things going. You're the self starter. You're the one hiring people if you have employees. You're the one that's put the business plan together. You're making sure this thing runs effectively and generates you money, right? So that's the first thing I want people to understand when we start talking about entrepreneurship, because I think that a lot of people don't take that into consideration when they get started on this journey. And so then we look up and it's like, I didn't make any money. I'm broke. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do. And really, it's just the fact that no, you just honestly might not be built for this lifestyle. I'll say this because we're going to go through a whole plethora of different things. I've kind of broken down. I kind of got like a little outline. I put together just things I'm thinking of off the top of my head, going through this topic, right? So for one, it's honestly about finding out, first off, when we start with entrepreneurship, is you have to get exposed to different things because you're going to have to figure out what you want to do. Ways to figure out what you want to do is, for one, figure out what your strengths are, different things that you're good at, things of that nature, because that's going to impact directly what you got going on. and how you're going to attack certain things going forward for your business. Are you going to be hiring employees? Are you going to be going about it like all by yourself to start off? Right. So let's take another step back. Anybody, I don't know if, how many people who listen to this have have read Robert Kiyosaki's book, Cashflow Quadrant. So when we talk about that book, they talk about the different ways, like either you're an employee, you're self-employed, you're a business owner, or you're an investor, right? And ideally, everybody should be an investor in my mind, because it just doesn't make sense to just keep piling money on, having it sitting in a bank account. For one, you're going to lose money just off inflation alone. But also, to me, I'm a person of, I always want my money to be working for me in some kind of fashion, whether it be in stocks, real estate, putting it back into the business to grow it and scale it, whatever. It's up to you what you want to do with that. But I don't think the wise thing will be to have it sitting doing nothing, right? So that's just something to think about. Think about that when you are, just going on in life. But back to the main thing, right? Cash flow quadrant. So a lot of people, don't get me wrong. I'll say, let's start off with, a lot of people want to be the chief, right? But the saying, a whole lot of chiefs, not enough Indians. At some point in time, you have to come to that realization that entrepreneurship may not be for you. You may be comfortable going to 9 to 5 every day, having a routine lifestyle. You may make good money. Like, that's another thing. People have this weird thing with, they associate, just because somebody's an entrepreneur, that they're a rich, wealthy millionaire, or they're a billionaire, and they just got all this money coming in, got nothing to worry about. Well, most business owners, for one, they ain't making the type of money you think they are. So that's also something to take into account. And while they can, they have somewhat of, freedom to do what they please, but they have to that's another, like, challenge you have to overcome, because just because you can do what you want when you want, well, you have to be able to put that to the side and get focused and work on your business and put that time in to get your business going, especially if you're trying to scale it into something that's going to make you, a millionaire, billionaire status, something like that. Those are the things to take into account when you are on this journey of entrepreneurship, if that's the route you choose, right? So read Cashflow Quadrant if you haven't. Great book. Honestly, especially a lot of people, they want to be the self-employed route, which I don't think people realize the difference between the self-employed and then the business owners, which is fine. I understand some people just don't want to work for their boss. They may not like their job. They may hate it. And they may rather just be their own boss so they can make their own plan, do their own thing. That's fine. Some people want to have their own business where they're just kind of overseeing the operations. They put in systems in place to where it pretty much runs itself, and scale and do it that way. So, and then, you hire out stuff, like you hire employees, hire out the work, do things that manner. It'll allow you to scale a lot quicker. And honestly, you'll probably be able to grow way bigger than what the self-employed person might be doing. So it's just something to think about when you're on this path. Now, as far as finding what's right to you, I say, for one, you'd have to look at who you are as an individual. Like I mentioned before, you may be perfectly comfortable working for somebody else, and that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with going and doing a 9 to 5, making your check, your hourly pay or your salary, whatever you're getting paid. There's nothing wrong with that. And if that's what you want to do, by all means, do it and be good at it. Because at the end of the day, I think what people tend to forget is, most businesses need employees for them to operate. So if everybody just wants to have a business, then who's going to run, who's going to work in the business and help you build the business? Some people may not want to have all that burden on their shoulders. Some people may not want to be the decision makers, et cetera, et cetera. They may not want that responsibility. They may just want to come in, know they have job security, know they're going to get a consistent check every 2 weeks, put that work in, and go home and go on about their life. Then you have other people, the entrepreneurs, that they're okay doing all that. They're okay making the tough decisions, being in control of the whole thing. So that's just things to take into account. who you are as an individual, what your strengths are, things of that nature. What do you want to achieve, right? So for me, I have a goal to get to a point where I'm making $83,330 a month. I say that because that'll put me at millionaire status. That's my initial goal. That's what I'm striving for in every move I make within starting my entrepreneurship journey along with investing. But my plan is to be generating $83,333 a month. That's the goal for me. Understand that 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to start a business of your own to get to that point. Some people may be content. A lot of times I hear, oh, I just want to make six figures. Okay, well, for one, what does the six figures look like to you? Because six figures, 100,000 compared to six figures, 500,000, 900,000, two completely different things. And what you'll start to realize, actually, for the people that's not in the workforce yet, the young ones that listen to this, and for even people that are, striving to get to that six figure mark, I'll personally let you know, once you hit that six figure mark, 100K mark, that is, like when you crack into the six figure tier, you come to grips with the fact that it's really not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money like you think. I know we have that whole thing like, oh, I don't make six. That's like the dream, at least, if you went to college, so that's like the goal. Oh, I got to come out, I want to be making six figures. Then you get it, and it's like, oh, damn, this really isn't like what I thought it was going to be, especially depending on where you live. That six figures could be like nothing. You talk about New York, Boston, Cali, places like that. That six figures don't mean nothing. Like, yeah, if you're in Texas, the South, that six figures will go a long way. But still, at the end of the day, you come to grips with the fact that it ain't really as much as I thought it was. So, like I say, and then honestly, when we're talking about six figures, you can find a job you can go work at and probably make six figures relatively quickly, not putting in too much, maybe put in your years, get to that six figure status, and then you good. You don't care about, you ain't bothered with the whole aspect of, oh, I need to run my business, do this, do that. You're cool with that. You do your PTO 3 weeks, maybe you get a year, you fine with that, you go on your vacation with your family or whoever, and you're all right. You're good. You're set. You like that routine, content lifestyle, and you just keep on pushing. That's fine, because we need those type of people as well. It's a whole mutually beneficial thing, and that's how this whole ecosystem really is, how it takes place in the business world. You have the employees or you have the employer. You have the person that runs that company, so they got to keep things going. So that's something to take into consideration. You know why, not why, but who you are as a person. What do you want to achieve? Like for the people that they want that millionaire status, they want that even billionaire status, right? You got to understand that you're probably going to have to be in that entrepreneur realm. Or don't get me wrong, you could do that with the investing route. It'll take way longer. So again, it depends on what you're trying to personally achieve. Your goal may be different than mine. Me, I want to get to a point where in the next 5 years, I'm bringing in 83,333 a month, and I have plans in place with my businesses where most of what I touch, I plan on putting in systems. I don't really touch business where I can't put a system in place and it runs itself. Like I don't want to be super hands on. Like if I started, we'll just use a cleaning business or a landscaping business, for example. I don't want to be the one out there mowing the grass, clipping the hedges, doing all that, or cleaning the houses. Like, yeah, you could scale those in a way where you could be completely hands off and serve as a middleman of those. You can scale those automated, because if I'm just cleaning, let's put it like this, right? If you're the self-employed person and you want to do work, like all the work yourself, say you're in the cleaning business. Well, you have to clean those houses or buildings or high rise or whatever. You might have a small team or whatever to help you do that. But let's say you're doing residential and you're the one cleaning the houses, right? Okay. So now, yeah, you're self-employed. You're your own schedule. You make your hours. You set your pay. But when it's a gift and a curse. Like, yeah, you're your own boss. But in my mind, when I got to do all this myself and I've attached myself to this, I limit myself in my ability to be able to go do 50 jobs at one time. I could have, if I'm overseeing everything, employing people that can get the job done, pay them to do it, pocket the difference, from based on what I price my services at for my business. Well, I could be doing, 20 jobs at one specific hour. And now when we see that business owner stance, right, the ability to make a lot of money is infinite. Okay. So it's just things to take into consideration when you're doing this, because a lot of times what we don't do is think about the long term vision. You're just thinking about, and that's something that you need to be having in your brain, in the back of your mind as an entrepreneur. What we tend to do is, as a people, most people, they look at that short term. They don't care about that. What's the long term vision, the delayed success, or or being able, like, thinking about the bigger picture. And the people that don't think about the bigger picture, that's what separates an entrepreneur from that employee, right? So that's just things taken into account when trying to figure out what you want to achieve and what you're trying to accomplish. So if entrepreneurship is in fact for you. So this is just some things, and like I said, why I personally want to do it is also, aside from the 83,000, my $1 million initial goal, because I want to be a multi-billion. I want to be a billion. Everybody wants, I won't say everybody, but my goal is to be a billionaire. Whatever, that's fine. That's me. Don't have to be for you. But for my starting point, I want to get to that $80,330, 33 cents a month. That's the starting point, or that's where I'm trying to get to. That's my goal, what I'm working towards. And I gave myself a 5-year timeline to get that accomplished, which could be too long or whatever, but that's my specific goal. I do things in a smart way where, you have the acronym SMART: specific, measurable, um, attainable. I can't remember the other two. I think it's time bound. I can't remember what the R stands for, but I like to do things on I want to be able to measure, and I want to have a time bound stamp on it. And I want the goal to be specific and something that I can actually achieve, right? I can't remember what the R stands for. It's going to bug me. So hold on real quick, man. Like, golly. But I cannot think of this. Oh, relevant. Okay. So yeah, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time based. So for me, that's my goal. But also, more importantly, what my goal is, I don't want to have to work for nobody. And I want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. If I want to just, get up and go fly to Italy or somewhere and stay there for 2, 3 months, and then go to Mexico and stay for another month, and then go to, I don't know, go to Australia or Amsterdam or somewhere and just go chill out for another 2 months, I can do that if that's what I want to do. And I can still get my job done effectively and do, those things. And don't get me wrong, you can do that with regular jobs, but that's just kind of my gist of why I want to do entrepreneurship and why I chose this path. Now, give you a little background though, I've tried, quite a lot of things. And this is when it comes back to finding out what's right for you. Like I mentioned, I'm more of a person that believes in trying to figure out ways to do business that you can scale, automate, put systems in place to streamline the business and grow it. But you have people they enjoy the hands-on, like, the chefs and the cooks, the bakers, people that do cleaning, landscaping, or whatever. Those are just a few examples. Like, and they may truly enjoy doing that. Your handyman, they may truly enjoy being hands-on with the business, and that is fine. You don't have to do things the way I want to do them. It's just my process and my thoughts when I'm taking all this on, right? So that's just me. But finding out what's right to you, and then you got to get that exposure, because once you start getting that exposure, trying different things. Like for me, I started off. I've tried my fair share of things. Like I think we've all, like, if you're an entrepreneur mind in any way, you were doing something as a kid, whether it be cutting grass. I was personally selling candy at school. Hustling whichever way. You might have been tutoring, something. You were figuring out a way to make some money on your own. self-starter, right? So I'll say, those are just things that, we'll talk about exposure to different things. I've tried Amazon FBA. I've tried reselling stuff from shoes to electronics, whatever. I've done. We won't even use I'm not passively in real estate, but I won't put that as an entrepreneur thing because it's technically I'm not doing active deals like that to where I would be considered an entrepreneur. I'm personally on the investor side of it, right? So that's why I say you got to differentiate the two. I've tried. I'm trying to think, man. I've tried quite a bit of things. I've done the whole Amazon had like I can't remember the name of it. They had this thing where you take on like little jobs, almost similar to Fiverr and Upwork. I've done that. I haven't tried the Uber thing and all that. I don't consider that like entrepreneurship to me personally. Currently working on a Turo business. I'm doing credit repair right now. Actually, I got my notary commission, and I'll be getting my notary signing agent later on. And I'll be able to do my own business. And I also started a business where I serve as the middleman for the notary business, and I'm working on that for the credit repair as well. So I'm this year, 2021. I'm establishing a foundation, as I've said in the past on the show. So, like I say, I've done a lot of these things that I've learned personally. Just to give you a breakdown, like I've done courses on them, whether it be somebody put me on for free, but mostly, I put my money up just like the next person. We go to college, we have no problem putting up $50,000, $60,000, taking on that debt for a degree, which sometimes that degree may not mean nothing, may not yield you a return, may be a waste. But what I'll say is, what I believe is if I could do that, which I have a degree, I have a bachelor's and an MBA. So I speak from experience, but I'm still out here. I'll put up money to do a course. I'll put up money for course on stock. Like this is investment side, stock investing, forex, all that. I put up money to learn Amazon FBA. I put up money to learn the notary business, to do my rental car. Even though that rental car course we took was more based towards hire car, and I feel like I personally we ended up wanting to do Turo more. So we're getting all that stuff in order right now, actually. And hopefully in the next 2 weeks we're up and running. If y'all listened to the last episode, y'all heard the stories that we've got right now. But we've kind of pivoted. I made a post actually, when you fail, what are you gonna do? You're gonna give up or are you gonna pivot? Me, I'm out of the business of giving up because I understand that the only time failure is for sure guaranteed is when you give up. So for me, and my business partner, I was like, hey man, we got to pivot. And so we've made the pivot. We're running all the numbers. We're getting things situated. So in the next 2 weeks, we can get the vehicle, get it on the road. And that's fine. And that's only because I'm fairly busy and so is he this week. So we'll have to get everything accomplished. Hopefully we'll have everything accomplished by next week, early next week. And then we can get everything listed and boom, get going. So it's just things to take into consideration. You know, when I say exposing yourself to a bunch of different things. And like I say, I paid for numerous courses. Heck, I paid to learn how to do credit repair. And that only came because somebody tried to charge me a gang of money and my score was really good. And I was just like, well, if you charge this much, I could charge probably less than this. It really helps the people out. And since my end goal is real estate, really started investing in real estate and, doing real estate deals as well. I figured my mom, she just got a real estate license, so she's helping people. I come across so many people in real estate. I come across all types of people that need credit repair. So I'm like, let me try to help somebody out, for the time being. I don't know if it'll last, how long it'll last. My goal is to scale it up, but honestly, if I can get to a point where I can scale it and then sell it off, hey, it is what it is. If it gets me close to that goal, because at the end of the day, my goal, like I said, you already know, $83,333 a month. That's the goal for me right now. So it's just a matter of what is presented to me and how I maneuver based off of what's presented to me. But what I want, those are just some of the things you need to expose yourself to. Just different things, different means of business. I've seen people that have pallet flipping, where they buy the pallets wholesale and flip them. Whatever, resellers, all that. Those are anything where you can make you some money. however you want to get it, hey, that's all, by all means, go get it, man. So, and these are just, that also is the signs that you may want to take on entrepreneurship, like I mentioned. If it's, I want to make, I want to make millions, I need to think about these things. But if it's a route of, I just want to get to six figures one day and then just kind of chill out, be comfortable, I don't think that the headache of entrepreneurship is worth it to put yourself through that. Because again, it's a sacrifice that you're taking on when you take on entrepreneurship, and that's what a lot of people don't realize when they do it. And it goes back to that thing like everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, right? And that's kind of just how we talk in football. Like everybody got a plan, like, oh, I'm gonna do this, do that, until you get hit in the mouth that first time, especially when you're on the line or something. And the guy, hits you and stuns you. And it's what are you gonna do? It's fight or flight at that point. You gonna man up and take that on, or you gonna tuck your tail and run? What you about to do? So these are just things that you got to take in and think about when we start talking about, is entrepreneurship for you? Like, yeah, we may all want to be entrepreneurs, so we think, until we actually get into the nitty gritty of it. Because a lot of this is like, it's boring, it's hard as hell, it's definitely not easy in no means. So that's why I say, and you're going to have you might not have too many days that are the same. And so let's talk about, I guess, I'll kind of close this up with discussing, what do good entrepreneurs have in common, at least from my perspective. And really, when you look at most entrepreneurs that are like the successful entrepreneurs out there that didn't stop, didn't quit, didn't give up, that are actually out there making, the top Jeff Bezoses, the Elon Musk type, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett's, the Diddy's, the Jay-Z's, etc. They're businessmen and they're entrepreneurs. And that's how they're, that's why they're so successful, because of they have certain common traits. Like, you have to understand about the delayed gratification aspect. Like we talked about having that long-term vision. A lot of us get caught in the now. What can happen for me now? And they don't want to think about that long-term vision and being able to see something into fruition, right? So you have to understand, you have to be okay with having the aspect of long-term vision, blocking out that noise and seeing that, I'm okay with delayed gratification. You have to be a consistent person, because it takes a lot. Consistent and a self-starter. Because for one, you have to be able to get up every day and work, even when nobody's watching, nobody's telling you what you need to do. You ain't gonna have that. You're not at your job no more. You don't have a boss telling you what to do. So now you're gonna have to get up, get motivated, find that why within you that's gonna keep you going, and keep working towards that long-term vision or that long-term goal that you have set up. So I would say, self-starter, consistency, very important. Being able to block out the noise, very important, because you're going to have a lot of people, especially your inner circle, family, all the people around you initially, depending on your network. Your network it may vary, right? But most times you may tell family and friends that may not understand what, entrepreneurship even entails. And they might shoot that down. So you got to be okay and block out the noise. And to me, the most important thing at the end of the day, you have to be okay with accepting responsibility of others' livelihood and well-being if you go the route of having employees. But also, let's just say it like this. To put it in a nutshell, you have to be okay being a problem solver and a decision maker, because ultimately that's what entrepreneurship is. You're finding a problem and solving it, and now you get paid to do that. Whatever way you want to look at it, you find the problem, solving it, getting the job done. All right, and then now you got to make the tough decisions. People don't want to take on making those tough decisions usually. And that's a lot of why the people who are in management at certain places are in management. People that run their business, they're able to make quick decisions and make the tough decisions that have to be made. Because let's say, okay, I'm in credit repair, right? And you may not want to take on a client. Or that client may not have the greatest credit profile, whatever. I'll take that on. That's a poor example. Let me switch that up. Let's go with something where you have employees, right? I'm thinking about getting into the cleaning business later on, so I'll use that as an example. If I have a setup where I have people that are work for me, and I'm deploying these people out to go clean or do their job, but somebody calls out sick. It's the same as when you're a manager at work. I just use any example, right? You have to deal with somebody calling out, staff shortages, all these different things. So now you got to quickly make a decision that's going to affect the whole flow of everything going on. If I have a business where it's based off of just I have a bunch of jobs each day that I got to deploy people out to, but one person calls out, now I got to figure out what if I had them set up on 5 different things to do this day, 5 different jobs to do this day that they need to get accomplished. Now I got to figure that out, whether it be reschedule, canceling that appointment, or whatever. Naturally, for me, I want to try to figure out a way to reschedule to get somebody out there to replace that. But that's again depending on did you do your due diligence and look at the long-term vision and understand all the wrong that could happen and what issues you may arise. Did you take that into consideration? Do you have extra employees? Do you have somebody that you can maybe call in to go handle that? So these are things that I take into consideration because I'm a manager also for my day job. So it's not as hard for me. It's just how my brain works as well. That's a personal trait for me. I'm good at problem solving. I'm good at making the decisions, the tough ones that need to be made to keep things flowing smoothly. So these are traits of an entrepreneur, honestly. And these are things that you have to think about. Do you have these traits within you? Because if you don't get me wrong, you can have many things going for you that could also help you in being an entrepreneur. And another thing people got to think about, so we start talking about Cashflow Quadrant, got that self-employed versus that actual business owner. If you have employees, well, you can hire employees that are experts in what they do that could pick up the slack where you lack, right? So these are things that you just have to be aware of. And sometimes you don't know, well, it's not really sometimes. Well, you get started in anything, right? Especially something new. You don't know what you don't know. So it's things that could arise when you get started that you never planned for, didn't expect to go wrong, or none of that. So now you have to actively figure out how am I gonna handle this situation. That's what I say, like, and that's why I tell people if you are interested in getting into entrepreneurship, stay away from just consuming every single thing. Consume some information, then go put that information in action. Execute. Go take some action and execute and see what happens. And also, while you're doing that, you're gonna figure out if this is something that you really want to get involved with. You'll know real quick. That's what I tell people. Like people spend all this time trying to figure out. They say they want to be an entrepreneur until they actually get going. I'm like, what? You just got started. You wasted a whole year trying to get to this point. As you just got started and figured it out as you go, because that's what people don't want to. People are so afraid to do that. But you're never going to be 100% fully prepared. You got to stop waiting on perfect conditions. So you have to just start. Pick up some information, go take action, apply it. Because that's what's going to show you if you can or can't do something and get something accomplished. So these are just to wrap it up, things to take into consideration. And I just wanted to do this pod this week before I get back into doing my guest pods, because this podcast is about wealth building. And so many times we talk about entrepreneurship, making money, investing, all these things. But I just want to talk on entrepreneurship and really have people just, take a second to think to themselves, is this even the path for you? Like, there's multiple ways to build wealth. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. You can be an investor. You can do so many other things. There's people that go to work 9 to 5s, invest all that money. They may pick up 2 jobs just to invest more, pay off their debt and all that, and then they accumulate their wealth that way. So it's just a matter of what route do you want to take. And when we start talking about, like, back to the Cashflow Quadrant, most people want to be on that business owner, investor side, right? The BNI side, more so than that self-employed. I mean, don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with self-employed. But most people that want to see that true wealth want to be on that BI side. So those are just things I've personally taken into consideration on my journey. And I'm perfectly fine doing all this. But again, everybody is not Ollie Brady, and some people don't want to do that. And that is okay. I'm gonna reiterate that so much. People like it's okay if you don't want to be an entrepreneur. You can go get all the assets in the world, go get you a great job, hell, build your wealth that way. More than one way to skin a cat, man. So I just want to thank you all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all been tuning in. I'm gonna start getting this YouTube going. I keep saying that, but I had to take a little break and stuff. Some stuff happened, so I'm back on it, back focused, man. I'm here for y'all. We ain't never gonna miss an episode. I promise you. Every week I got y'all. We're gonna have our weekly motivation on Mondays, Tuesdays. We're gonna drop the pod. So just stay tapped in. I appreciate all y'all, man. I love all y'all in the Wealth family. I get y'all DMs and stuff. I see y'all's reviews on our podcast. I appreciate all the reviews we get. None go unnoticed. And I try to respond to all DMs. I've just been super busy, man, especially with this credit repair business I actually got going fairly quicker than I expected. And I'm starting to see a lot of people asking to be clients. So I have to get this in order, and I'll keep y'all updated on that journey as well. So we got credit repair, got the Turo business soon to be getting started in the next couple weeks. Should be hopefully next week that'll get going. I'm also looking to get a property, so we'll see. I put an offer in on one property today, so we'll see what happens with that. Otherwise, I may go new construction route and figure out a way to either Airbnb it out or part of it out, maybe rent out some rooms. I don't know yet. I haven't figured out. I probably won't rent out rooms. I'll probably do the Airbnb route or figure out a way. I'm kind of getting some ideas on, and let me know if y'all have tried this. I've heard somebody on the podcast mention they did a tiny house in the backyard. So I'm kind of looking to, it's probably not going to be easy to find a place I could do that unless I buy an older house that's in an area without an HOA. But I've actually put a bid on a place that has a guest house in the back that's like the size of a big apartment for the most part. And actual house is already rented out with tenants. So that thing, while it's not cash flowing right now, it'll drop my living expenses down to like a few $100, which is nothing if my offer gets accepted. So we'll see. And if it doesn't, like I say, I'll stay ready. So I ain't got to get ready, man. I already got a plan for that just in case, because it's just the same as a life of an entrepreneur, right? I know this is a move for an investment purpose in the future down the road, long-term vision. So for me, it's a matter of stay ready, I got to get ready, and always being prepared. I expect the worst out of every situation and hope for the best. That's just how I attack things in life, because you don't want to get your expectations up and get your hopes up and be expecting one thing to go this way. And then like that, it flips the script on you and you stuck looking silly, having to scramble and figure something out. So I realized, like, not to be negative, but it's just to be prepared. That's the key to me. Preparation. You know, everybody says, preparation is key, and that's key to me, because it's all about putting in the time and getting good at your craft, but also staying persistent, consistent, not giving up. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Like it, comment, subscribe. Hopefully hopefully I'm giving you all the value you need. If there's any specific topics y'all want me to cover, shoot me a DM. If any kind of certain guests y'all want to see in certain fields, shoot me a DM. I got a lot of good guests coming up that are going to be really dope for y'all to get to see these episodes. And a lot of these episodes are things that I know y'all can immediately get started on. And most of these are very low barriers, like very low entry costs, So I say stay tuned, rate this thing 5 stars, man, and just let's rock out, bro. I appreciate all y'all.